This clip is brought to you by SaveWithConrad.com.
But first, let's start where it all started for you. How and when did you get started in the wrestling business?
It was 2005. I was here in Atlanta, Georgia. I ran into a guy that ran a dealership named Rocky King. Not sure if you guys are familiar.
That's right.
NWA. Yeah. So I ran into him. My mom introduced us because she knew I was really big into wrestling. So a little bit before 2005, I was talking to Rocky. He introduced me to a gentleman named Frank Aldred that owned a professional wrestling school. Evidently, it used to be the power plant, the WCW power plant. But then after everything shut down, what was left over was called WWA4. And so that's the school I joined. And the main trainer there was Big Cat, Mr. Hughes, or Total Protection, Mr. Hughes. Yeah.
Well, Jonathan, early in your career, who were your favorites to watch?
Oh man, the person that got me into wrestling was Bam Bam Bigelow. I can't really explain that one based on my
That's
style.
Cool. Yeah.
Yeah, but that's what kind of attracted me to pro wrestling was Bam Bam Bigelow, and then from there I've matured, and of course the Mysterios, of course, because he was closer to my size. Of course, Kurt Angle, Guerrero, Malenko, all the more technical guys were more my taste of wrestling. So I was really into those guys. Then I started to bleed into wrestling from other countries. So, an individual named Makoto Hidaka from 0-1, Shinjiro Otani from, of course, 0-1 New Japan. All these guys kind of became my favorites. So the list really goes on. I could be here all day with that one.
John, I got to ask you, do you have a favorite Bam Bam Bigelow match of all time since she was your favorite?
I do not. I was just, tuning in for him at first because that was my introduction. And at the time, I wasn't following matches. I wasn't smart to wrestling at the time.
I got you.
So, yeah.
Okay. Well, listen, was there a style of wrestling that you were more interested in than others?
That came later when I got a little bit more mature and smarter in wrestling. But the Super Junior style, the quicker, fast-paced, more technical style, really took my eye. And then in time, I learned to appreciate heavy psychology, heavyweight bouts. So I would probably say the world of sports style has taken more so of my attention in the last decade or so.
Well, Jonathan, what was it like trying to get exposure back when you first started?
For me, it was very difficult. Of course, again, I'm one of the wrestlers that are on the smaller side of the scale. So I stand about 5'4". When I started, I was amateur wrestling around 103 to 119 weight class.
You're a little guy,
yeah. So that gives you an idea of where I started. So starting out, it was very difficult for me to break through. I remember I was wrestling for a company right after Deep South dissolved. A lot of the guys started coming to this one company that I was working with regularly in Alabama called GCW. So I was already there when these guys started filtering in. We could see a lot of the independent guys getting squeezed out, but they kept me around. So I ended up going to the promoter and asking him how it worked and how I could build myself towards the upper card so I could learn how to be a mid-card guy, a main event guy. And he said to me that you're exactly where you're supposed to be, opening up the show hot. So that's when it dawned on me that I couldn't stay there. There had to be somebody that, saw wrestling the way that I saw it, that, different body frames, different styles make fights. So I just left the Georgia, Alabama scene and started traveling, and I ended up finding myself wrestling for Booker T's promotion out in Houston. And then around 2008, I got my first international booking, which I ended up living in France for about 2 years after that. So, so it kind of just started slow and speedballed into that.
Hey, it's Conrad Thompson. Thanks for checking out the podcast here on YouTube. Be sure to hit the subscribe button and the notifications bell so you get a notice anytime we upload some new content. And go save yourself some money right now. If you're in a 30-year loan or you have credit card debt, it's not a matter of if I can save you money. It's a matter of how much. Find out right now for free at SaveWithConrad.com.